Hey everybody, it's Jen from Britical Saiyans here, and today I'm going to be showing you my deck profile for the black Syn Shenron Xeno, whichever you prefer to call them. So this deck is fairly similar. It relies more on extra cards than its yellow counterpart that just relied on using the Dragon Balls to go up the chain. So to start with, the leader has Blocker. It's got its first auto of when you activate a Shadow Dragon extra card from your hand, you and your opponent place top card of your deck in your drop areas. So on the opposite side it will mill again, but essentially every time you play an extra card that is Shadow Dragon, your opponent will mill one, and on this side you mill one as well. And its other auto is you choose one black Shadow Dragon card in your hand and discard it. When this card attacks, you draw one, then switch this card to active at the end of turn, so that you can get the most out of it being a blocker, because it helps you protect the unison, and it's just kind of a way of activating active battle with it. It's kind of odd that it has blocker, but it helps out. So, and its awakens when your life is at 4 or less, or you have 7 or more black Shadow Dragon cards in your drop, you just get a 1/1. So then on the awaken side, like I said, it's got blocker. Its auto changes from both of you milling a card to just your opponent when you play an extra Shadow Dragon extra card. And then when it attacks, you draw one and gains 5k, and then it switches to active at the end of your turn. So again, just enabling it to be a blocker. And then it's got active main / battle. Once per turn, Spirit Boost 1. Choose up to one Shadow Dragon extra card in your hand. Activate its active main / battle skill without paying the energy cost. So instead of paying cost, you just do the Spirit Boost, which is fairly useful, because it means that like there are a few that cost like 2 energy, so it means that you can play them by just Spirit Boosting one, and it just means that you have an easier time milling your opponent and just flowing through the deck. So, so the useful card for this deck is just 4 copies of Terror Resonance of Shadow. So it's got no specified cost, 10k power. Her auto is when your lead card activates its blocker skill, place the top card of your deck and drop it, and add markers to this card. So hence the fact it goes back into active, it can be used as a blocker, is to give you a marker on there, and you mill a card which doesn't really hurt you, because you kind of want to see stuff go to the drop to activate skills. She's also got a +1 active main, you draw one, then you choose a card from your hand and up to 3 Shadow Dragon extra cards in your drop and place them on the bottom in any order. So it just gives you extra cards back in there, it gives you some more deck, and it means that you can use things to search out your extra cards and mill your opponent some more. And she also has a active main -7. I have yet to do this, because it usually dies every time I play it. But yes, active main -7, if the leader is a Shadow Dragon card, choose up to 7 black Shadow Dragon cards with different character names in your hand and or drop and play them. So in a sense, like the old one that used to play a bunch of Shadow Dragons from drop, this one can do the same, just as a minus effect, instead of having to pay 4 on your leader. Is it 6? Oh my god, you pay 6.
The yellow Shadow Dragon was paid 6 to bring out 7 from the drop with different names.
So instead of paying an energy cost, you just remove 7 markers. But I suppose the idea is that you would just build up to do that. So going now to the extra cards, like I said, there are going to be quite a few. Let's start with, we've got 3 copies of Negative Energy Explosion. So I'm just going to say this now, like, most of them will have the permanent of being a Shadow Dragon card, except for the ones that obviously aren't made for its deck. And it's got active pain / battle, limit 1. If the leader is a Shadow Dragon card, look up 7 cards from the top of your deck, then choose one of the following. So you can add up to 1 Shadow Dragon extra card to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. Or if you don't have a unison in play, you can play 1 copy of Terror with a marker on it. So it either gives you a unison from top of deck, or lets you add another extra card, so you can chain the effect again and do some more milling and activate more effects. Next, we got 2 copies of Protector of the People. So it's counter attack, negate, then you may choose a card from your hand and place it in the drop. If you do, your leader gains the following effect for the turn. When it's attacked by a battle card, it gains 5k power for the turn. So this, in general, is a very good one for black because it's easy to play. Well, it's just kind of good in general because there's no limitation on what your leader has to be. It just has to be a lead card. And a bonus that I'm not 100% on, because ruling is really awkward and I did spend forever trying to find a ruling. No one gave a definitive answer, but one plus side that I may need correcting on is that if you activate the block skill on this and you have this previously active, it should give your leader 5k. Let's make it easier to block. Like I said, I'm not 100% on that. I have yet to actually come across that scenario, but either way it's just good because once you, like in some cases, your opponent will just ignore the fact that your leader has blocker. They won't attack anything else because it's like, oh, there's no point. I'll just go for your leader because it's just going to block anyway. So it's just a nice way to slow down aggro, and does make up for the fact that we've got one copy of a very important card for this deck. So next we've got 2 copies of Super Kamehameha. So it's counterplay: if the leader is black and you left at 4 or less, the battle card being played from an edge cost of 3 or less is sent to the nearest warp instead of being played. And then if your life is at 4 or less and all your energy is black, you can play this card without paying its cost, instead by adding a life to your hand. So it's just, essentially it's a free play counterplay, and it just gives the deck a nice little bit of a counterplay for battle cards. And now we've just got a block of Shadow Dragon once. So to start with, we've got 2 copies of Ultimate Dark Dragon Slaying Bullet. It's got counterplay: if your opponent's playing a unison card, they may either remove a marker for every 2 cards in their drop and warp, or place it in their drop area instead of playing it. If they don't, your opponent can only attack 1 more time for the turn. So it's just a way of killing unison cards before they can come into play. It counts as Shadow Dragon, and its active main or battle is limit 1. Your opponent chooses 1 of their battle cards with energy cost less than their number of cards in their drop and sends it to their warp. So you would use its active main / battle once they've chucked a lot into the drop area. It's more of a late game skill on that one, but it has a nice early use of counterplay. So it's a Shadow Dragon card, so it just adds more to your effects. Next we got 2 copies of Ultimate Dragon Quake. So same permanent as before. Active battle / main, limit 1. If your leader is a Shadow Dragon card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost greater than their current energy and send it to the nearest warp. At the end of turn, play any cards sent to the warp by this skill in their own battle areas, with their skills negated for the turn. If your opponent has 15 or fewer cards in their deck, you place them in the drop instead. So one thing that's good about this is that it's only costs 1, so it's not a huge cost. If they're attacking you with something big and it's early on in the game, you can just send it to the warp for a turn. But then later on, if they swing big things and say they've gone, oh, I don't need more than 4 energy, here's a 10 drop coming at you, you can be like, right, well, being as I've milled you out, I'm going to get rid of it so they can throw a combo into it, you can say no negate, and then your combo could just be play that, bounce it to the warp, and mill a card. So it's just a nice bit of spot removal, either temporarily or permanently. And then next we've got 3 copies of Ultimate Dragon Tackle. So same permanent as before. Active main / battle, limit 1. If your opponent has a unison card in play, your opponent places the top card of their deck in the drop area, which is pretty good because after this is fully resolved, they'll mill another card. So they'll mill 2 just from this one. And your opponent may choose 1 of their unison cards and remove 2 markers from it. If they don't, you draw a card, then choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the warp. So you can either remove 2 markers from your unison, or you can just draw a card and do a bit of spot removal on the battle card. So there's no real downside to this, and you basically won't play it once you've had a unison on the board because you can mill them and then make them choose 1 of 2 effects. And then finally for the extra cards, we've got 3 copies of Ultimate Whirlwind Spin. So same permanent as before, active main / battle, limit 1. If your leader is black, look up 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 black Shadow Dragon battle card amongst your hand, and shuffle your deck. You may choose 1 black Shadow Dragon card in your hand and discard it If you do, choose up to one of your leader cards and it gains 1k power for a turn. So, not a big boost. Useful if they've swung a 15k and done nothing on top of it. So then you can put your lead to 16k. You can trigger an effect of your battle cards when they're discarded. And it's just a way of searching cards as well. So, it's just a nice little tech. The extra cards can be changed depending on your own personal preference. I've just done essentially 3 of each because it seems like a good way to split without clogging the deck. So moving on now to the battle cards. We've got 4 copies of Syn Shenron Power of Darkness. So I'm going to say this now. Pretty much all of them have this one auto skill. So if you lead as a Shadow Dragon card, when this card is played from your hand or discarded by a Shadow Dragon card's skill, you may look at the top card of your deck. If it's a black Shadow Dragon card, you may add to your hand, otherwise place it at the bottom of your deck. Pretty much all the black Shadow Dragon cards do that. There's like 1 or 2 that don't, but and other than that, they all do it. No, I think actually they all just do it. Don't know why I said 1 or 2. Well, the Super Combo doesn't. That's it. Any other black Shadow Dragon card has that auto skill because it helps the deck just flow a lot better. So, and then this one has an active main of once per turn you pay 1 black. If it is a Shadow Dragon card and you switch this to rest mode, you choose up to 1 black Shadow Dragon with an edge cost of 3 or less in your hand and play it. So it's just a way of getting a bit of board presence, and you put this in rest mode, which means that your opponent can attack it, but on the plus side you get a free cost for 1 energy, so just a way of balancing the card out. Next we got 4 copies of Untitled Shenron Power of Darkness. So its first auto is if it is a Shadow Dragon card, when this card is played, choose 1 Shadow Dragon X card in your drop, add it to your hand. So it's just a way of recycling your cards. And then, as I said, it has the standard auto of discard reveal, like all the others do. And finally, for the 1-drops, we've got 4 copies of Syn Shenron Wicked Strike. So it's auto, same as the others. And then it's got active main / battle once per turn, spirit boost 1. If you lead it as a Shadow Dragon card, choose 1 Shadow Dragon X card in your hand and activate its active main / battle skill without paying its energy cost. So the nice thing about that is it has a duplicate skill of your leader card where you can activate an extra card by doing spirit boost. So if you have enough markers on your unison, you could just go, I'll activate this spirit boost to play a extra card, activate this spirit boost to play an extra card. So you've paid 2 tokens, but you've played 2 extra cards during the main phase or the battle phase. So that's what makes this really good, and that's why I run it at 4. But it is a promo from the premium pack, so it's not very expensive to get, it's just that's the only way you can get it. But it's really worth it for the deck. So next we got our 2-drops, which to start with is just our super combo for the deck. So Untitled Chapter Power of Darkness. Super combo, Sparking 5, if it is black, when this card is used and come from hand, draw 1 against 10k combo power for the battle. So it's just a Sparking super combo because the deck relies on milling itself and putting cards in the drop. It's got secondary auto of limit 1, if you use black and you choose 1 of your black user cards. When you remove a marker from 1 of your user cards using Spirit Boost, you place this card underneath from your hand, add a marker and then draw a card. So it's just a way to get a marker back. So your first Spirit Boost doesn't really cost you anything, you just instead put a card underneath and draw a card, then do the Spirit Boost skill. And like I said, it's just also Spark super combo, so you don't have to worry about your life. Because getting 5 cards in the drop is very easy in this deck. And next we've got 2 copies of Untitled Shenron Swift Spirals. So it is a yellow card. does have 9k in dual attack. Those parts don't really matter because we can't really play it. It's in here for its auto skill, so auto burst 1. If you lead a card as a Shadow Dragon card and it's your opponent's turn, when this card is used from your hand in a combo, choose up to one of your Shadow Dragon cards in your battle area and switch it to active mode. So this is just in here as basically a Zarbon for the deck, where you can just use it to get something back inactive as a combo piece. And then because it mills 1, it just adds more stuff to your drop for other effects. So it's not really a downside. And like I said, it's just a way of protecting battle cards that you want to keep on the field. So next we got our 3 drops. To start with, we've got 4 copies of Syn Shenron Negative Energy Explosion. So it's got critical and blocker, 15k power, standard auto for the Black Shadow Dragons, and secondary auto is when this card attacks, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards, send to its warp, and switch this card to active mode at the end of turn. So this is a really good, I feel like this is kind of the strongest 3 drop of the deck, in the fact that you can swing, it's got crit pressure, 15k, it warps a battle card, and then it comes back as a blocker. So you have a blocker during your turn and some pressure during your, well, no, got it wrong. You have pressure during your turn, a blocker during your opponent's turn, and if you want to keep it on the board just to reactivate its skills, you could decide to just combo this to stand it back up, use it as a blocker again, or just keep it inactive. But it's definitely, I feel like, out of the 3 drops, it's a 4 of, because it's just so strong. And next, we got 3 copies of Untitled Shenron Negative Energy Explosion. So it's got deflect and blocker, 20k power, so it's a stronger blocker than Syn Shenron. Again, first auto is the same as any of the others. And its secondary auto is when this card is played from your hand, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or less in their battle or drop area and place it under this card. Choose up to one of the chosen card's keyword skills. This card gains that skill until the end of your opponent's next turn. So what's great about this guy is it's just the fact that you can take something of theirs, whether it's on the battle area or in their drop, gain the keyword skill, so you can gain like dual attack, double strike, just anything that's a 5 or less, so there's this wider range of targets than most things. And then you can just use it, so you could be like, oh, I'll take a dual attack so I can swing this and have it back as a blocker. Or you could take like double strike, swing it, and then you could use your Oceana Shenron Swift Spirals just to go, I'll have it back as a blocker, thank you. So it's just a nice little thing, and I feel like 3 of is a good number for him. You could swap one of the Syn Shenron for another copy, but I just can't prefer having Syn Shenron because it's a guaranteed blocker and crit pressure. And then next, I'm running 2 copies of Syn Shenron Power of Darkness. It is rare, so just keep that in mind. It's not the easiest thing to get. So double strike. Its first auto is limit 1. You pay 1 black. If you use a Black Shadow Dragon card, when you remove a marker from one of your used cards using a Spirit Boost skill, play this card from your hand, and your opponent plays the top card of their deck in the drop area. So it's really nice in the fact that if you Spirit Boost, you pay 1, play a 20k double striker, your opponent mills 1, and then the bog standard effect of your Black Shenron's goes off, in that you can just check the top cards. So it's just very nice. If you can play it with the limit 1, it's even better. And so we've got our 4 drops now, and we have 2 copies of Syn Shenron Venomous Mist. So he's got double strike, EX evolve on a Syn Shenron energy cost of 3, which can be done in this deck because we do have a Syn Shenron energy cost of 3. So it's another reason to run multiple of him, is that you can just place it on top of this guy. Oh wait, no you can't. Xeno. Never mind. Forget what I just said. I had a bit of a blonde moment there, I guess. So the first auto would be when it evolves, you switch into active mode. Can't do that. It's in here for its secondary skill though, of if you lead as a Shadow Dragon card and you choose one Shadow Dragon card in your hand and discard it, when this card attacks or is used in a combo, choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode with an energy cost greater than the current energy and KO it. So, it's a nice bit of board removal on something big, and the fact that it discards a Shadow Dragon, the wording is perfect for us because it does mean we can trigger the first auto or the second, like the auto on our black Shadow Dragons because they've been discarded by a Shadow Dragon skill unless they trigger. So, but again, it's just a 2-off because it's just there as like a, oh, I need to get rid of something. Boom, there we go. You could just replace Oceanus Shenron with that, the other yellow one, but I feel like they're good to have as a 2-2 split. So, and then we have 3 copies of Syn Shenron Negative Energy Explosion. So he's got Deflect, Double Strike, Barrier, Blocker, 20k power. Again, first, his auto is the same as the others. And then he has the active main / battle. Once per turn, Spirit Boost 1. Switch to active, and your opponent places the top card of the deck in drop area. Choose up to one Shadow Dragon extra card in your hand and activate its skill without paying its energy cost. So, whereas the leader and our 1-drop just plays an extra card, this guy puts himself in active so he can be a blocker, mills your opponent, then plays a card, which then makes him mill another card. So you pay 1 Spirit Boost to get 20k blocker, mill your opponent 2 cards, and activate a extra card. Can't complain about that. That's why I run 3. I'd run 4, but once you've got 1 to play, you don't really play more than that. Next, we have a singular copy of Oceanus Shenron Negative Energy Explosion. I would run more if we had more. I'm just going to say it now. If you have more, I would say at minimum you want 3, and you could just replace Protector of the People with her because she's just amazing for this deck, and well, just amazing in general. So it's got Blocker, Counter Attack, choose 1 card in your hand, discard it, negate the attack, then play his card. If you played a card, your opponent can't attack for the turn unless they place 4 cards from the top of their deck in the drop area each time. So you can negate, get a 5k blocker, and every time your opponent wants to attack, they have to mill 4. There's like no downsides besides discarding 1. And the best part is that, it says it's 5 cost. During your opponent's turn, you reduce the cost of its card in your hand by 3. So for an energy cost of 2, you can make your opponent mill 4 cards every time they want to attack. You discard 1, and you have a blocker.
You're paying 3 energy and discarding 1 to stop 2 attacks.
Paying 2 energy.
2 energy, sorry.
Yeah. So you just stop so many attacks. And like I said, at minimum you want 3 of this. I know a lot of people run 4, but like I said, we have 1. So 1 is being used. And the last card of the deck is the Supreme Card of Time, Space-Time Unraveler. Really annoying to read sometimes. Because I don't have the Syn Shenron secret rare for the deck, but this is just a really good one anyway. Because it's 40k, but if it would be removed from battle, removed from the game instead. Active main, you can pay 1, choose this card and all of your opponent's battle cards, and use some cards and send them to the owner's warp. And in active battle, you pay 1. If you have 3 or more energy, you play this card from your hand, and your opponent can't attack with leader or use some cards for the turn. So for 1 energy, you get a 40k out that stops the leader and use some cards from attacking, and then you can just go, well, I swing a 40k, and then I pay 1 to wipe the board. So, can't really complain about that. But anyway guys, that is my Syn Shenron Xeno deck profile. So thank you very much for watching, leave thoughts in the comments below, I'll see you next time. Bye!